But I have just been absolutely exhausted the last week and a half. Holy cow. I wasn't kidding when I said that like it was gonna be insanity. Because it's been insane. It's been insane trying to like function and do everything. Because like I have work full time and I got the kids and church and the house and the garden and the chickens and schoolwork and bedtime stories and content creation and trips. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. Ah. And like last week, I was gonna go live, but then like I was too tired to even function. One of the kids that I teach on Wednesdays was like, "You haven't gone live in a while. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm just like I'm going to bed at like 9 o'clock. Okay, I am a night owl as any night owl there is. I missed you guys. I do miss you guys. I've just been like, I go to bed at 9. Like last night, Minnie Mando had an awards ceremony at school. She got 7 awards from her school, and that was great. I was so excited for her. But as soon as I got home, I passed out. Like, I was like, I'm gonna go lay in my bed for a little bit and just, like, decompress. And then the next thing I know, it was morning. Yeah. Tonight was the last night that we do our youth group stuff. So that's over now. So I have my Wednesday nights back for until school starts again. I'm teaching vacation Bible school in a couple of weeks, going to California in a couple of weeks. Like last weekend, holy cow. Let's see. Thursday night, I was making 8 desserts for dinner theater, and then 8 like trays of dessert. And then Friday was dinner theater. And then Saturday, I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drove my butt to Pennsylvania, went to a wedding Saturday afternoon, was at the reception until like 9, went to bed, woke up again at 6 a.m. the following morning, so Sunday morning, to then get in the car and drive back to North Carolina to do dinner theater Sunday night. Yeah. And then, of course, Monday I called in sick. I claimed that I had a migraine. Mostly I was just exhausted. And Minnie Mando had to give me some kind of presentation at school, so I went to the presentation, and then we had a little bit of girls' day. Yeah. And then, let's see. This week is Minnie Mando's last week of school. So there's all those videos that you see on TikTok. If you're not on these videos, but go and watch some of these ones of like last week of school. Go and watch those videos. They are all true. It's be like, good afternoon, parents. It's the last week of school. Please send your kid in a screen accurate 18th century dress. Blah blah. It's so and send in a $50 check for popsicles. And did you return your Chromebook? And please return your library. It's too many things. There's a picnic, and I was supposed to send in fruit roll-ups. Oh, I forgot to get fruit roll-ups. Ah! I just realized. Tiny Mando, I was supposed to send in fruit roll-ups for Tiny Mando's class party tomorrow. Guess they're not getting fruit roll-ups. Yeah. Am I ready for the new Mandalorian movie? Yes, but I don't get to watch it. Anyway, hi Thantali, by the way. I don't get to see the new Mandalorian movie. I don't know when I'm going to get to see it. So then this weekend, I will be in Atlanta all weekend, which is super fun. Because Minnie Mando has her Taekwondo championship this weekend in Atlanta. So that's fun. We're gonna get up really, really early on Friday morning to drive ourselves to Atlanta because she's doing sparring, so she has to weigh in to make sure that she gets in the right weight class. So that'll be fun. We gotta be there super early. Grocery stores open at 6 a.m. for fruit roll-ups. Yes! But at 6 a.m., I have to be monitoring my children to make sure that they can get out the door by 6:45. And Tiny Mando is many things. Punctual is not one of them. 2 years in a row. She has to be ready to go by 6:45. 2 years in a row. Kindergarten and first grade. And here we are at the end of the school year, and she still can't get ready to go by 6:45. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. So yeah. This weekend we gotta go to Atlanta. So that'll be fun. And then we'll be in Atlanta until DoorDash. We don't have DoorDash. We are in the middle of nowhere. There is no DoorDash. What I probably will do is I will take Tiny Mando to her bus stop, and then I will take Mini Mando to her bus stop because they are 25 minutes apart. And then I will swing by the grocery store, get the fruit roll-ups, and drop them off at school on my way back from dropping Mini Mando off at her bus stop that is, like, way far away. So that'll be fun. Thank you for the follow. No socks? Am I flexible? Yes, I am incredibly flexible. I have always been very flexible. I have hypermobility. Yay! I can also do it to this side. And I can do that, which is apparently not normal. I can do that, which is apparently not normal. Yeah. That's some of the fun ones that I can show you guys while I'm sitting in my computer chair. My favorite party trick is, do you remember the butterfly? It's the butterfly stretch, you know, where you're sitting on the ground and you've got, like, your legs like this and you do that. And you're supposed to, like, push your legs down as far as they can go to stretch. And most people can get them, you know, this far off the ground, and that's as far as they can go. I can make my knees flat. Always have. Still can, surprisingly, at my advanced stage. I don't know if you guys can hear the pop, but I can touch the back of my shoulder blades. And my other favorite is, and apparently, again, I learned that you can't do this, or normal people can't, is putting your head on your shoulder blades. Apparently, most people can't do that. I do not do a lot of yoga. I just have hypermobility. Pretty sure I have EDS. I asked my doctor if I should get tested for EDS, and he said, you probably have it, but there's not much we can do about it, so there's no point in testing for it. Thank you, Sadie. You're awesome, too. So yeah. I'll be driving to Atlanta for the Taekwondo tournament, and then we'll come back on Monday. I work a full day of work on Tuesday. I work a half a day of work on Wednesday, and then Mando Mom gets her vacation. My little tiny mini vacation that is just for me. Well, it's not just for me this year. I'm also taking my nephew as a graduation present. But I get to go to my happy place, which coincidentally is also the most magical place on Earth. What you call a run-over cat, a platypus. That's terrible. So yeah, next, this Wednesday, 1 week from today, I will be on the Amtrak all the way going to Orlando. How about my husband? No, my husband does not go to Disney World. He hates Disney World. So he hates Disney World, but he is married to a Disney adult. So we compromise. He stays home with the kids, and I go to Disney World for a day. And then I don't ask him to go to Disney World with me. That's the agreement. I don't ask him to go, he just sends me on my way. And he gets a weekend of quiet. Well, because the kids are older, so they, like, leave him alone. Basically, they can pour their own cereal now, so it's not, like, we don't ignore our children, but, like, they are old and they're not toddlers, so they don't need, like, constant supervision. So yeah. My husband does not go to Disney with me. I go with a couple of friends. It's like a girls' trip. It's a girls' trip that isn't just for girls, I guess. My friend and her husband go, and then I'm taking the nephew with me. Next year, there's like another woman that I've made friends with. She wants to go. There's like two other girls that want to go on the girls' trip that also sometimes includes husbands, except mine because my husband hates Disney World. Um, so yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited. I got a Beacon Barrel reservation, which I was super excited about because I've never eaten it because Beacon Barrel is new. I got a Yak and Yeti. We're going to Yak and Yeti, which is super fun. I got a Phantasmic dining package, which is gonna be super fun. I've never done that before, but this is mainly because my nephew. I want him to have like an experience everything. Um, so I don't really need to get away from the kids. Like that's not the only reason I don't take the I'm gonna be honest. The main reason why I don't take my children on my little fun weekend away to Disney World is because I like to play the game at Epcot, and I don't really feel like it's appropriate to play the fun little try everything at Epcot game when I'm also a mom. I'm just saying, I don't like to play that game with my children. Not that I'm getting sloppy. I don't get sloppy. But by the time I make it to France, I am feeling very good. I am very happy, I am very relaxed, and I am feeling great. But I don't think that's responsible parenting. It's just not. So, we share, like, our group kind of shares beverages. We get we all get our own beverage in Mexico. I am partial to the blood orange margarita. But we all get our own beverage in Mexico, and then like the rest of the world tour, we're sharing. Like my friend's husband really likes I think it's the grapefruit ale in Germany. He always gets that. And if we go during the flower and garden, so there's like extra cool stuff going on. But like last year, Italy had nothing we wanted, so we didn't get anything in Italy. The American one, the American Pavilion, usually we get a turkey leg. We also get food, so like we're not just on an empty. So, but again, I don't think it's like responsible to do that in front of my kids. Again, I'm not sloppy, but like I don't know, I just feel weird about it. I don't feel like it's responsible parenting. I mean, they see me have a beverage every now and again, but it's one beverage. I'm not like giggling. Those are reserved for book club nights, and children are not invited to book club nights. What happened? Disney stays there. Oh, I know. It's not, like I said, we're not getting crazy. It's just, I don't think it's appropriate to do that in front of my kids. It's kind of like, and I've got like other people do it in front of my kids, and I don't care, and I'm not going to correct their behavior. Although if you do get sloppy drunk, I'm going to take my children out of the situation. I'm not going to correct your behavior, but I am going to shield my children from your behavior. I guess that's the weird thing is like me. I don't go around correcting other people's behavior in front of my children. I remove my children from the situation because I'm not your mom. I mean, I am your mom. I'm Mando mom. I'm everybody's mom. Quotations book club. We did read a book or two. We read 2 books at the beginning. At the original formation of book club, we read 2 books, and then we never read a book again. But we still have book club nights. And I was like the only person that read the book. They're like, we're going to have a book club. And I was like, sweet, I get to read books with other people. And then like nobody else wanted to read books except me and one other person. And they moved away. So then it was just me. And so now I just read books on the internet to y'all. You guys are my book club. My actual book club. But yeah, we didn't really read the book. I mean, they did. They didn't. I did. I read the book because I like reading. But it was so the book was narrated by Christopher Eccleston. It was about a kidnapping / murder of a kid in England, and it was like a whole murder mystery thing going on. It was very reminiscent of Broadchurch, but it was not like Broadchurch. Oh, hey, Luna! So yeah, it was weird, but it was read by Christopher Eccleston. I remember that. And then we read the book that was written by Patton Oswalt's wife about catching the Golden State Killer. We read that. And then we didn't read any more books. Again, they didn't read any more books. I continue to read. I read Star Wars books on the internet for fun. Speaking of which, we are almost done with our mall book. Same rules apply as usual. If I didn't set up. It's hard to say that there are rules if I don't set it up. I really would like them to bring back Tiny Dinies. Like, seriously, they got rid of all of the cheap gifts. Like, what the heck is this about? Oh, wait. Nope, they just hid them. They're now all over the place. They're not in the same place that they were before. I don't know. I don't like any of these. Like, why can't you just bring back my Tiny Dinies? I liked my Tiny Dinies. Alright. Same rule applies as always. If we hit the live goal, then your birthday was today. Happy birthday, Luna! If we hit the live goal, I'll read 4 chapters. If we don't, I'll just read 2 chapters, and that's how it's going. Do I got a mic? Can you guys not hear me? It's right here. Mic. Natalie, you can hear me, right? I'm assuming you can hear me. You said, oh no, Atlanta, so you must be able to hear me. That's so weird. Hi, Random Acts of Frank. Thank you for the boxing gloves. Can you see my chat? Yeah, I can see your chat. How's my stream journey going so far? I mean, it's fine. I do not stream daily. I stream when I feel like it. I try to stream when I can, but lately I have just been so slammed that it is really hard to stream. Coincidentally, in June from the 9th through the 17th, I will try to stream. I'll be able to stream on the Clock app. I will not be able to stream on the Play Button app or the Purple app. Because I won't have my computer. I will be in California during that time. But if you guys want to see me, definitely follow me over on the Clock app, and I will be going live there when in California. I will be there from the 9th through the 17th, and I will be going to Disneyland on the 11th. I'm so excited. I got a Blue Bayou reservation. Ah! I haven't been to Blue Bayou in 13 years. I'm very excited. Yeah, June 11th. It's going to be awesome. I will definitely take a look at your art when I get a chance. And now his chats are gone. That was weird. Did you block him, Thintali? Okay. I was gonna say, like, if you're offering me art services, I don't need an artist. I have a guy for that. His name is Mindless. You may go to Walt Disney World. No, that's next weekend. In 7 days, I will be on the Amtrak on my way to Disney World. I deserve it. I've been busy. Alright, anyway. Are we ready? Chapter 72. Stick It Out. Maul, Fosta said, stepping into the med bay with a glance at the arms dealer's body, and the boy standing over it. Am I interrupting something? Ignoring the question, Maul glanced at the curve-handled lightsabers that hung from her belt. You wear your heritage on your hips. Not my heritage, she said. My livelihood. You know, I just realized Vosa kind of reminds me of Jod from Skeleton Crew. My master specifically ordained for us to meet, Maul said. A new species of tension was taking shape in his chest, filling his lungs and spreading outward into his extremities as the fullness of the dark side made itself manifest. We have business, you and I. Vosa stood her ground, feet planted, face attentive, body poised to strike. The only business that we have is your imminent destruction. Charging at her, he sprung up, swinging his lightsaber in a swooping hum to meet her in mid-leap. Vosa was ready for him, and their blades clashed together, her initial defensive pose absorbing the momentum of the attack and pushing him backward. From the corner of his eye, Maul saw Egan raise Radik's blaster pistol, and before he could utter a word, Vosa stretched out her hand and knocked it from his grasp with a burst of force push, slamming the boy to the floor. Stay out of this, she told him. You'll... The room reverberated with a massive, crackling boom, followed by a series of low-level aftershocks. It was as if Coghive 7, having lost interest in all the routine reconfigurations, was now determined to shake off entire layers of itself. Aw, that's kind of cool, Random. Also, did you... Hi, Mindless! Speaking of my resident artist, there's Mindless! Ta-da! Wait, Maul said. I summoned you here to take possession of a weapon, not to... But Vosa was moving again, whirling backward and spinning and evading. No matter how hard he tried to defend against her, his blade met open air. The awareness of what she was doing, drawing on the Force and her own repulsive relationship with it, only made him more determined to end this battle decisively. You're weak, she goaded him, dropping back and making him come to her. Your right arm is slowing you down. Even your weapon is betraying you. Maul kept coming, relying more and more on his left arm, saving the right for when he'd need it most. But Vosa seemed to anticipate everything he was doing, dropping low and then springing up and outward into an open space along a row of diagnostic machinery in the corner of the medbay. Maul's lower lip drew back to reveal his teeth. If defeating Vosa was what he needed to do in order to get the weapon in the hands of the Gora, so be it. Gripping the lightsaber's hilt, he squared his shoulders and swung again, thrusting his blade at her in a series of perfectly angled slashes. Vosa came back at him on the offensive, with both blades spinning. Jar-Kai, Mar snarled, deflecting her assault on the reflex. Predictable. He swung the lightsaber down, but at that moment the corridor shook again, jerking sideways and throwing the both off. Vosa recovered first, darting back again too quick, and the speed with which she evaded his attack only inflamed the rage inside Maul's mind, stoking his wrath until it crystallized into a kind of malignant grace. Now he gripped the lightsaber in both arms, forcing his damaged right arm into service and gripping the hilt of his saber with full strength. It was time for Juyo, the way of the Vornskar, the last of the 7 forms. He seized upon it eagerly, allowing himself to be swept up in the chaotic frontal assault of thrusts, slashes, and jabs. Maul. A tremor of new fear pulsed across Vosa's face, disrupting her composure, as if she'd finally recognized the true ferocity of his purpose. Darting backward into a desperate, evasive measure, Vosa whirled one of her blades behind her, hacking loose a massive shelf of surgical instruments from its place on the wall, and with a swing of the hand, she used a force push to fire them at him in the glinting storm of steel. Maul ducked the flying instruments and bobbed back up with a silent snarl. In his mind, the duel was all but over. His opponent was now dragging out the inevitable moment of defeat in a series of small humiliations. By turning to such diversionary tactics, Vosa had all but admitted that she was no match for the erratic staccato blows that he was delivering, seemingly from everywhere all at once. Kill her. Kill her now. Then you may deliver the weapon to any of the Bando Gora who remain. Pivoting easily, he swung out at her, the dark side streaming so powerfully from him that now it seemed to be pouring forth in great explosive torrents. His blade was moving almost too fast to see, cutting great fan-shaped swaths in the air around him. All around them, the whole world seemed to be blowing itself to pieces. Vosa went low, swinging out one leg in a last fruitless attempt to catch him off balance, and he brought the lightsaber down in a great hungry arc, holding off just long enough to savor the expression on her face. Now, plead for your life. Thank you for the heart, me. Sorry. She tilted her chin up at him, wiped the blood from her lip, and grinned. You're going to have to try a lot harder than that. Before he could respond, she rammed the top of her skull into his shoulder, head-butting the open wound. I don't yawn, and then as soon as I get on here, I start yawning like crazy. A rocket of white-hot fury sizzled inside Maul's forebrain, all but obliterating conscious thought. He let out a roar and prepared to finish her off. That was when the floor erupted beneath them, the alloy plates bursting open to reveal something so vast and incomprehensible that Maul didn't recognize it until it tried to bite off his leg. With a jolt of shock, he saw that the thing that exploded upward had already taken his foot into the hideous suction cup of its mouth. The worm. Thank you for the follow, Darth Revan. I'm so jealous. I tried, but I couldn't get any. Its appearance here provided Kamari Vosa the last opportunity she needed to right herself and make her escape, leaping upward and then bounding off the wall console behind her. Coward, a voice shouted from inside Maul's brain, weakling. Jedi scum. It is exactly like your kind to flee at the first sight of... In that split second, the thought broke off as he realized that she wasn't running away. She was coming at the worm. Man, if I'd known you could shop for many, I would have asked you to get me one. I'm still so sad. I wanted to go so badly. I think the only other hope I have is asking my cousin if he can get me a pass, but I doubt he can. I'm sure one time if I asked him really nice me, he could get me into Comic-Con, but I'm still so sad I couldn't get into Celebration. Well, if you sell your Sunday, let me know. I am more than interested. Chapter 73. The Wreckers. Lightsaber alive and oscillating in front of her, Vosa landed astride the thing, her feet finding their balance with pre-eternal ease, hacking downward through the upper part of its head. Down below, Maul yanked himself from the worm's mouth, scrambling back to right himself. He heard a cry and looked over his shoulder to see the thing, in all its massive weight and appetite, had turned, writhing sidelong to pin Vosa beneath it. The worm turns, and there are always more bones. It was coiling the full extent of its hideous body in an attempt to simultaneously hold her down and devour her. On the far side of the medbay, Egan was struggling to fire on it with the blaster that he'd taken from Radik's hands, but none of that was going to have any effect on what was happening to Kamari Vosa. The worm was going to eat her alive. Maul met Vosa's eyes. Yet even now, he saw in what was surely her final moment of life that there was no surrender in her response, no hint of fear in the way that she fought it. Watching her, Maul felt a realization stirring beneath the rage to which he'd given himself over. An unfamiliar sense of connection, primitive and undeterminable. She was no Jedi. She was no Sith. She was something completely other, and the idea of giving this worm the privilege of ending her life now was not to be tolerated. Not by Maul. Not today. Ah! Cannot stop yawning! I need a drink, but I didn't bring anything up with me tonight. Oops. He charged at it, the makeshift lightsaber swinging sideways in both hands as he thrust it directly into the thing's gaping maw, then planted his feet and spun the blade in a 360 arc. His right arm felt like it was on fire. His right shoulder was screaming at him. He ignored it, sweeping the saber around again, carving the very teeth from its mouth, slashing at the mandibles from the inside, then spinning it the other way until he'd chopped the mouth parts themselves to ribbons. The effect was immediate. With a piercing scream that Maul heard both in his mind and in his ears, the worm spasmed and slashed its tail, rolling sideways as if bewildered by the fact that after everything that had happened, it had somehow been bested. At last, it fell still. Maul staggered backward, dragging himself from the thing's maw, and saw Kamari Vosa staring at him, hollow-eyed from the other side of the medbay. She looked exhausted, but triumphant. You did that. Reaching up, she shoved the blood-soaked hair from her brow and gave him a wicked grin. You killed it. Maul said nothing. His gaze traveled from the great dead bulk of the worm to where Egan Truax was standing, and he remembered what he had forgotten. It doesn't matter. She frowned at him. Why? There are electrostatic charges implanted in both of my hearts, Maul told her. They're going to go off at any second. But I'm going to die in this place. He glanced at the other crate on the far side of the medbay. The material for the weapon is in there. Take it. Something tightened in the pit of his stomach, and he turned from her, walking toward the hatchway. In giving it to you, I will be accomplishing the will of my master. Wait, she said, moving toward him cautiously, hands raised. What do you mean, an electrostatic charge? There's nothing you can do. Maul, stop. Something in her voice froze him in the doorway. I see now that I was wrong to attack you. When you stated that you wanted to deliver a weapon into our hands, I anticipated an ambush, some kind of trap. Her voice faltered slightly. I am not used to extending such trust. Maul said nothing. I am a Force user, you know, Vosa's voice said, and he could tell from the sound of her voice that she was drawing nearer to him. Maybe there's something I can do after all. And thus ends our reading for tonight. I will be online tomorrow, which will end our book. And then I will be back on Tuesday. So tomorrow we'll finish our Maul book, and then Tuesday we start our new book, Queen's Peril. Ah! I know, we're already at the end. So tomorrow we will finish Maul, and Tuesday we will start our new book. Yay! Yeah. This has been a crazy ride. I keep thinking, I'm like, every time they're describing Maul, I'm like, shouldn't he have his electro parts in his stomach now? And then I was like, I have to remember that, like, this is all before the Phantom Menace, not after the Phantom Menace. So yeah, we're at the end of our book already, at the end of this book, and then we start our new book. It's all good. It's all fun. We've been having fun. We like this book. Hi, Belle. Ow. Cramp in my leg. I'm just falling apart this week. I'm just falling apart in general because I'm so tired. Ah. And work is stressful and busy. I don't know. We'll see. Did you finish Shadow Lord? No. I did not. I will probably finish that on my ride to Atlanta. You just don't understand. Like, literally, it's go to work, take care of the kids, take care of the garden and the ducks and the dog and the chickens, and then do some kind of activity that somebody else needs me for, then go to bed, and then rinse and repeat the next day. And weekends, I'm not even home. I don't know if I can show you guys. I didn't take any pictures of me, and the only picture, I was going to show you guys a picture of from the wedding, but I can't do that because it's got my pictures of my dad and my kid in it, and my dad does not like being on the internet, and I don't like showing pictures of my kids. I am so jealous. I don't know how you get to do all this cool stuff, Frank. You start getting some customers finally? Yay! I mean, good for you. Horrible for children. Having a lice outbreak sucks. That's no good. That's no bueno. Well, then Tali, why don't you come to, like, GalaxyCon? So, I was gonna say, you would have, if you had gone to the thing last week, Random, you might have met my Alarad from the Mandalore, from the Mandalorian Mercs. Because my Alarad was there. They got invited to be there. I was so jealous. Unfortunately, they didn't get to meet Pedro because they had to go to the bathroom when he was, shaking hands with all of the Mandos that were there. But they did get a really cool picture of them in the cockpit of the Razor Crest. Yay! Well, wait a minute. When you say you're going to your first Ren Fair soon, is that the same one that I'm going to? That's so cool, Random. Oh. I see you don't live in California though, so it wouldn't be like I could say hey when I'm there because you live in Arizona, right? Or Utah? Was it Arizona or Utah? I would say we could I could at least say hey, but I can't because you don't live in California, but always in CA. I wish I lived in California. No matter how expensive it is, I've always wanted to live in California. A dream that will never come true. Sad face. I don't think so anyway. Mando Dad is pretty adamantly against living in California as it stands. He says it's too expensive, so and I used to think that I wanted to live in like Arizona or Utah, but I've lived in the South for so long that the humidity, like any place that has less humidity, I'm like, I feel like SpongeBob when he visits Sandy. Once the 33 issue is solved, I want to buy a condo there. Hey, if you ever need a buddy to go to, if you ever need someone to join you, I just want to go once. I promise to behave myself. Just once. I just want to go once. To say that I've been there. Just once. Just once. Just once in my life. Oh. That'd be so much fun. Is the food good? Like, I've always wondered, like, I know you get food there. Is the food at least decent? I'm assuming it would be for that cost, but... One promotion is done. Need one more to solve the issue. Ah! Good is excellent. Ah! Yeah. It's excellent. Good. I'm glad it's excellent. I mean, I've enjoyed... I don't... Is there ever been any food at Disney World or Disneyland that I've had that I didn't like? I don't think there's ever been anything that I hated. Definitely some things where I'm like, not the hype. Because, what was the thing? Oh, it was, the cinnamon roll from Gaston's Tavern. Like, everybody's always like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever, it's the best thing ever, it's the best thing ever. It's not. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. But I'm like, it's not as great as, like, everybody hypes it up to be. I think that's the only food that I've ever had that I'm like, this is kind of disappointing. Everybody said it was like the best thing ever, but it just turns out to be a giant cinnamon roll. That's it. If I promised to behave myself, nobody would believe me. Yeah, that's true. I'm excited, Thentali, because Artemis is going to join us. It's going to be you and me and Babs and Artemis. I will be dressed as Doc, or as close to Doc as I can possibly get, because I do not know where to buy, or at least find a reasonably priced. It's this like special belt that nurses and governesses wore back in the 1800s, and it's got like all your little tools on. It's got like a scalpel and a needle and scissors and keys. I forget the name off the top of my head at the moment. It's French. But it's like a little like chain belt that has all your, it's like a utility belt for nurses and doctors and stuff. Doc wears one of those, but I don't know where to get one that is decently priced. Also, I need to make an apron for my costume. I don't really have time to make an apron. I did make Tiny Mando's Daisy dress. I am currently... I meant to take Mini Mando's measurements so I could do Mini Mando's dress. Yeah, Mini Mando wants to be Daisy. Sorry. Tiny Mando wants to be Daisy. Mini Mando wants to be Minnie. And so I made Tiny Mando a park accurate Daisy dress. The pink peplum dress top thing. I did the collar with the perfect scalloping. The only thing I have to do is Daisy has like this purple button. So I gotta put the purple button on, and then it is perfectly done. Park accurate Daisy dress. And then I am working on the dress that Minnie wears at the Plaza Inn at Disneyland with an included apron for Minnie and Friends breakfast. So I'm making her the full outfit for that. And then myself, I am going to be wearing Minnie Mouse's 70th anniversary Disneyland outfit. Or at least I'm making like a something close to it, because I don't want to wear like all that tulle. That would be really hot. So I'm making it out of cotton, but it'll look cute. Yeah, I know. We lost Tom Kane. Tom Kane? Tim Kane. Tom Kane. Who does a lot of voices for Disney, especially at the parks. He was Professor Utonium, and him! I didn't know he was him from the Powerpuff Girls. I'm a little confused at why everyone's saying he was Yoda, because I thought James Arnold Taylor did the voice of Yoda in the Clone Wars. But he was in a lot. I'll probably cry at the fireworks, because I'm probably gonna cry at Happily Ever After. I mean, I was gonna cry anyway. I mean, I cry at Disney fireworks. Okay, I am that girl. He was yeah, and Darwin from the Wild Thornberries. But like he was Yoda in a lot of things, but I don't think he was Yoda in Clone Wars. Was he? James Arnold Taylor did the voice of Yoda in Clone Wars, not Tom Kane. But yeah, he was in Rebels. Yeah, he might have been Yoda in Rebels, but I'm like 99% sure it was James Arnold Taylor. I can look it up. I have a computer in front of me. Yes, I heard the devastating news. He's also Amadeus Arkham from the Arkham games, and the narrator from the Clone Wars. It's very sad. He was the voice in Clone Wars. Because when I met James Arnold Taylor, like, Yoda is on his, like, signature sheet. Like, he was Yoda in Clone Wars too. Huh. Wait a minute. Hold up. Was he in Kenobi? When did they make Kenobi? What is this? Oh, he was in a fan film. That was weird. I mean, he was Kenobi. Apparently he was in some kind of, like, Star Wars fan film as, like, an Imperial. That was confusing. He was in The Loud House. He was in Doc McStuffins, which is really, really funny. Because in Doc McStuffins, he says hello there. And until I met him, I didn't know he was Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank. Which is kind of cool. Oh. Yeah. I love James Arnold Taylor. He's so nice. And he's done, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi for ever. Huh. I didn't realize he was in Kingdom Hearts. He's apparently in Kingdom Hearts. Learning all sorts of new things about James Arnold Taylor. Yeah, Tom Kane did a lot for our childhoods too. I mean, it's just, it's really sad to lose him because he voiced so much. Wait a minute. James Arnold Taylor was in Drawn Together? No. No way. And he was in every episode? He was Wuldor Sockbat? No. I always thought it was so weird. It was like a weird show, but I didn't. James Arnold Taylor was in that. Oh my god. I wonder if I can stream that anywhere. I haven't watched Drawn Together in like who knows how long. Granted, that show was super inappropriate, and I was way too. I watched that show when I was in like middle school. No, I would have been in high school. 2004? Yeah, I would have been in high school. Even so, it's probably not appropriate for me to be watching as a high schooler. That show is so inappropriate. Oh, I do have Paramount Plus. I don't like having Paramount Plus because I don't like being associated with Paramount because of Ellison. But, Tiny Mando is super into Paw Patrol. So we have it for Paw Patrol. And then, is it CBS that's on Paramount Plus? I think we have, and then Minnie Mando and I really like watching the show Ghosts, and so, I keep it also around to watch Ghosts with Minnie Mando. It's like a thing that we just do on a regular basis. Anyway. I think I'm gonna go to bed. I am tired, and I have another jammed-packed day. Tomorrow I have to do a whole bunch of laundry and give the dog a haircut because... So, whenever the dog goes to stay at my parents' house, I have to groom him beforehand because my mom doesn't want to have a smelly dog in her house. She loves my dog, but she doesn't want a smelly dog. Anyway, I love you guys coming on. I will see you guys tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will finish our mall book, and then we will pick up again on Tuesday after the holiday, and we will start Queen's Peril. I am not gonna go live on Wednesday, but I may go live for a brief time on Thursday next week from Orlando or something, if I can find a place to stream that won't, like, bother other people. I just don't want to bother other people. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Stay safe. Don't get into trouble. Bye.